Hello, Leo. Welcome to your May 1st to 15th, the first half of May anyway, read. For the main read, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. And for the supportive cards, I'm actually... Nope, that's not the one. The Secret Language of Color cards by Ina Segal. Seems to be the theme of the night for me. We're done? Okay. What's up? Okay, now we're done. Alright, so this feels a little jumbled in the sense of like there's a lot of activity here, but I feel like things are more stable than they may seem. Your overall energy for this situation is the Temperance card, which means waiting to see how things work out. I feel like this isn't that hard for you, only because I feel like you're doing other things at this time. You've got a lot of other things going on, but whatever the situation is that you have to wait for it to pan out, you're distracting yourself with other things. And I feel like it's a few different other things. You have the Nine of Coins here, which there's a lot of coins in her hair, you'll notice. A lot of thoughts, a lot of things going on all at once. And I feel like you're multitasking purposefully to keep yourself occupied and to not overthink or get impatient with situations. The question is, what is the situation you're impatient with? Or successfully not becoming impatient with? There we go. The King of Cups. He's at the other side. He's like dragging his feet. And I don't feel like he's purposefully doing it in a negative way. I feel like he's thinking things out and he's trying to decide where he truly stands. Remember with these general reads, don't get caught up in the gender. It can be male or female. But the situation that you're trying to get to go forward is waiting on or hinging on this person's decision. I want to say action, but it feels more like decision. It may be a decision that's going to be the result of an action. How's that? Okay. Now, as you're coming in, I feel like on your side, I just had this for Aries, and I feel like the same thing comes through in a sense. Well, for you, it's a little different, actually. Yours is coming through more like waiting for something to hatch, feeling like there's a lot of values going on here. A lot of value going on here. To you, the situation is very precious. With this, it says crayon, but it always makes me feel like the stone turquoise, which I've said in the last video, and I'll say it in this one. I've noticed with people, like there's some people who love turquoise and find it extremely valuable. They love it. They love having it. Other people, they're just not too much into it for whatever reason. And I feel like to you, like turquoise, this turquoise feel, it says crayon, but to me, it's kind of got that feeling like to you, it's of great value, and you love it, and you very much want this to happen. Not everybody would be on the same page with you on that, but for you, you think this is awesome, and you want this to happen. Now, I feel like the other side here, this is connected with that King of Cups. Lilac. It's a very tranquil, very just take it as it comes type feel. A very just... Wait, if it comes out of my mouth. Just kind of take it as it comes. Lackadaisical? Lackadaisical. I'm sure I've heard that somewhere. Just kind of like, you know... I feel like you want it to happen. They're just kind of like, well, we'll see. We'll see. It's not a bad idea, but I don't know if I think it's as great as you think it is. But let's see. However, and this seems to be like this person. It's not like they disagree with you, but they're just kind of like, well. I feel like they're looking at you as if you move fast. and that you could be very much into it right now, but you could also move on from it just as quick. And that's what they're worried about. And they're just kind of like, you know what? Let's just take a minute and breathe about this, because I don't need to be left in the cold, because you kind of move on to something else. And I feel like the way they're looking at you, they don't think you'd be malicious. They just think that your interests change quickly. Okay. I get this is more about a relationship. And like I always say, if it's relationship-wise, it can go both ways. If you're with somebody, I feel like they're looking at you as if they know you well enough to know whether you're going to stick with something or not. And in this case, they're just kind of like scratching their head. They're like, I feel like I should know whether you're going to stick with this or not. I'm really not sure if you're gonna. So I'm just going to kind of lay back and see where the chips fall and then move forward based on that. If you're single, this other person's just not really sure you're honestly interested in them in the long haul. They think it's just a flash in the pan interest. And they're just waiting it out to see if you're really interested or you're just kind of like into them for now. Good. Okay. I feel like you're occupying yourself, though, and you're keeping yourself, like, while they're, like, if this is hitting out the way I think, you're finding ways to hang out with them without making it stressful, maybe in group settings, maybe in similar situations. If they're refusing to hang out with you too much, or they're just kind of separating themselves from you a bit, then you're hanging out with other people, or you're doing things socially, or hanging out with family, or getting yourself in projects, or doing things in a work sense. Like, you're keeping yourself busy. Because you really want this to go forward now, but you're like, you know what, I know I'm not going to be able to get you to go fast on this, so I'm just going to do other things, and I'm just going to distract myself so it doesn't bother me. That's how I'm going to handle this. You got Browns here, and you're coming after the Nine of Coins. I feel like you're having a hard time getting this situation to take off. And I feel like you're kind of giving this almost like a dissertation. I don't know if that's the right word. Like you're saying your piece on it, and like you're like trying to get the other person to go forward. You're like, listen, I really want this. Come on, why can't we just do this? Like, you're pushing for it, but it's like hitting this breastplate, this bronze breastplate. It's just like you're flinging little pebbles at it, and they're going ping, ping, pong. They're just not making a dent. And you're just getting a little frustrated with it at this point, and you're starting to think, you know what, I'm just wasting my time because you're clearly not going to do what I want you to do, and you're getting a little frustrated with it. But the moon is on your side, and the reason I say it's on your side is not only because it's literally on your side in this reading, but things don't seem like they're going to go forward, but that might not be the case. But I do feel like you're getting a little more agitated. The original effort here of distracting yourself while you're waiting for things to start happening is getting old, in your opinion. And however long that went on for, whatever it was, you finished it, you moved on from it, the experience was over, and now you're like, all right, I'm ready to do this now. I'm ready to do this now. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. Like, you should be ready. Why can't we just do this? Let's just do this. I feel like that's how it's coming across. Like, all right, I stepped away, but now I'm back. Let's go. Now I'm back. I'm getting a 5 here. Is that May? Is that because this is in May? I mean, it's the 5th month. Cinco de Mayo? Is it the 5th of May? Or is it the 4th of May? Well, Cuatro would be 4th, wouldn't it? So, Cinco's 5th, right? Yeah, I think it is. I always get that one symbol and think it looks like Taurus. Nothing is changing, but nothing is that goes for you as much as it does against you. Like, nothing's changing, like nothing's lost and nothing's gained. That's kind of what I'm getting with this. Things are continuing on at the same effort, at the same pace. It's keeping strong to the ways, the old ways, the ways that have been going. The way it has been going, it's going to continue to go for a little while here. Holding strong to that same pattern. The other person isn't budging. but they're not moving away, but they're not moving closer at the same time. I feel like this is agitating to you. And this is a point where I feel like you have to step back at some point because I feel like you're seeing that things aren't going left or right, and you kind of have to. I feel like you're having this moment where you realize you need to calm down and just like hold it back a little bit. I feel like if this is hitting for you, you're hitting this moment where you're thinking to yourself like, I'm gonna destroy this before it has a chance. Like this is gonna I want this to happen, and I realize opportunities are not lost, but they're not happening either. But if I really want to give this a shot, if I'm really interested, I need to just I need to calm down and step back. Like this, if this hits for you, you're feeling this way. Like you're like, I don't want this to disappear. I don't want this to stop, but I need to hold it together. Like you're viewing the situation that way. If this is hitting, when this part happens, you're viewing the situation because you're realizing nothing's going forward, but nothing's going backward either. And you still have a chance, and you're trying to hold it together because you're like, I don't want to lose the chance. It's taking longer than I really want it to, but I want it to happen, so I'm trying to hold myself together. This card is mauve, which is clearly a different color than lilac. I think the darker shades in this card are supposed to be more mauve-like, I'm assuming. But lilac and mauve, they both have lilacs on them. At least they look like lilacs to me. You can tell me I'm wrong. I'm sure somebody will in the comments if I am wrong. Will be like, no, those are different. But to me, it feels they look exactly the same to me. They really do. Which for this reading, I feel like the purpose is the King of Cups, same boat, same place. This whole the whole first half of May, just taking it as it comes, not moving forward, not moving back, taking it as it comes. What's interesting is you start communicating how you're feeling about this, and I feel like you're starting to plead your case, and you're trying to get the King of Cups to move your direction. You've got the Five of Wands. This is how this is ending out, the Five of Wands. Communication, things kind of like knocking against each other, just kind of like trying to force things to start happening. Trying to shake the cage a bit to get the tiger to roar type situation. I'm kind of feeling like this is also reminiscent of you trying to like ground yourself. You're trying to get a better idea of like what's happening with the other person. I feel like you're trying to push to like are you considering what I'm saying at least? Are you at least considering it? I feel like that's how you're coming across. That's what you're trying to get. That's what you want to know. You're like you're going at them in a sense of like, are you considering this even? Like, am I completely out of my head thinking you're even going to give this a shot? Like, you're even going to give this situation a chance? Like, are you really considering it, or are you just blowing smoke up my butt? Like, is that what you're doing? Because you just want to shut me up. Because I want this to happen. I'm not going to let go of it. And it could come across a little over excited. I feel like the other side is like really like listening to you, but I do feel like there's pushback here. I don't feel like they're willing to go forward the way you want to yet. And when this time frame ends, I feel like they're pushing back in the sense of like, well, if it's really that much, it shouldn't be that big a deal. We can just wait a little bit because I'm not ready to move forward on this yet. And if there's really something there, a few more weeks shouldn't be that big a deal. That's how they're coming across. I don't think you really like that. But I feel like when they're pushing that back, I feel like you're trying to be on board with it. I feel like you're trying to. It's uncomfortable, and you don't really care for it that much, but you're trying to be on page with that. I do feel like this is going to drag out a few more weeks at least before it goes left or right. And I feel like it's going to time will tell. This is somebody I feel like if it ends up the way you want it to, they're going to like enter it in the sense of like, we're going to do this and we're going to do this for a while. This isn't just a short-term situation. So if you do get this win, it's through dedicated effort, and it's going to stay that way for a while. Right. But I don't feel it's kind of like playing hard to get. They're not giving it up easy. They're going to make you really work for it. So I feel like, especially at the end of this time frame, it's going to be that grounding moment where you're going to be like, do I really, like, what do I really want here? Like, is this worth the wait? Because I feel like at the end of this time frame, that's the whole point of this, is like you have to like look at it and like, how much do I want this? Because I'm going to have to wait a little while for it, more than I really want to. Is this worth waiting for me? Do I want it enough to wait? Do I want it enough to go through this? And this is going to define, because like if you do, it's yours for a while. Like this person's looking for long haul. And once you prove to them, like they're requiring that for whatever reason, that's how they feel. Once they feel that they've gotten the proof they want, they're in, but they're in solid. Like not only are they in, they're not letting go very easy. So you're going to have just as hard time stepping out as you did stepping in. Right. So at this point, I feel like that's where you're getting at. The self-audit is purposeful because it's like giving you that moment. Like, do you really want this to happen? And if the answer is a yes, you're going to hold on and you're going to wait for it to happen. If the answer is like, well, I'm not really sure, you'll probably diverge into another route. Okay. All right, that's the reading for this first half of May. I just want to make a note. Thank you very much to everybody who comments. I read them on my phone. I very much appreciate them. It's hard for me to respond that way, but I do read them. So thank you very much. And of course, if you want a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.